Okay, we are on the back of the house. We're at the northwest corner of the garage. This is the main power to the home. To these homes comes in above grade. Okay, that's our service drop. It looks like it's okay. Although our mast looks it's a little crooked, like it's being pulled over to the side over time. It's kind of unusual. And we come down here. This is our electric service supply conduit. These are the meters, your meter, your neighbor's meter, and they're just as loose as a goose on this wall. See that? Not so good. Not so good. That might be kind of tied into, you know, an ongoing type of, I don't know. Coming in here, our main neutral should be wrapped with white tape. Now, if you don't get that, if it's the main neutral, you don't belong in this box. I get that. And then L1 and L2, where they come in, for the time being, they're required to have rubber insulators, you know, non-conductive insulators on top of them. Now, that being said, eventually it's going to go to the other cabinets, is what I'm getting at. All right. Grounding rod's supposed to be buried. That's supposed to be an 8-foot grounding rod, not a 7-foot 6-inch grounding rod. It's supposed to be buried all the way in. Now the electrician may have convinced the code inspector that there was enough resistance on that, and he let it slide. I wasn't here when it was installed. I'm just going by the rules. And then we got corrosion on L2 here. Look at all the corrosion on that lug. So this is probably time for this thing to be replaced based on that. Moving on along through the garage. I've been here for a while, and the light's still on. The handle's loose. Okay, threshold gasket's torn. Door jamb gasket is torn and compromised. Just picking up a few spares as we go along here. Wooden floors downstairs, carpet upstairs. Wooden floor in the bathroom as well. Stair handles are not supposed to be open like this. Not supposed to have open stair rails. Stair handles. You could catch your robe on this. You could catch your robe on this and spin out and fall down the stairs. Carpet. We do have some tile in the bathrooms. Primary bedroom, north closet. Electric service panels should not be kept in closed. They should not have been installed in closed closets. In the 80s, when this home was built, that was probably excessive, acceptable. All right. Now we've only got 3 screws. Only 2 screws that work. This screw was just there. I don't know. So we're missing, we're missing 4 screws that work. The labeling, see that labeling right there? It's supposed to be completely labeled. You have too many breakers, too little information. That right there is called handwriting. See where it says General Electric right here? That's printing. Now the manufacturer, General Electric, and the code thinks that this should all be printed, not labeled, not handwritten. Okay. Now this cabinet should have been installed flush to the wall. You got a gap like that. If this cabinet breaks down and starts burning, it goes around, because this is where your cabinet cover goes to. Got this big gap coming out. Shouldn't be in the closed closet. Shouldn't have a gap. Shouldn't be handwritten. Should be properly secured. The dead front should be properly secured. Again, the main neutral coming in should be wrapped with white tape. And again, if you don't know that's the main neutral, maybe you don't belong in here. Also, we got unprotected conductors entering the cabinet. See that? It's supposed to have these are connectors. So it doesn't have it. That can rub on the edge, cause sparks and fire. Cabinet doesn't fit properly. Oh no. There we go. Now moving along inside of here, we're noticing that wires are touching the cabinet cover. Not supposed to do that. They're not supposed to stick out any farther than this bumper right here. That's what that's there for. Is to give you an idea, a clue about what to do. Kind of help you along. Alright. Neutrals. Well, that's GFCI. You got 2 GFCIs in here? No. Neutrals are not supposed to be double lugged. Alright? You can double lug grounds, but grounds and neutrals, this is a second panel because we have the main disconnect out in the alley. So this is the second panel. And on the second panel, you're not supposed to commingle grounds with neutrals. The current can backfeed through the system, and what you think is off might actually turn out to be on and hot. It might affect the way some of your equipment operates. So neutrals and grounds are not supposed to, not in the second panel. In a primary panel, that's acceptable. Double lugging is never acceptable. And then you have the white wires coming in here. If you don't know that's hot, you don't belong in this cabinet. Again, I get that. But all the whites that go in into a hot breaker, they're supposed to be wrapped in black tape, so any fool would know that these are hot wires. If you can't tell that a wire coming out of the, I don't know, you know. So here's another thing that's going on. Is what's going on? I thought I read something here. I thought I was on to something. There we go. That's an Etna. Okay. Eaton circuit breakers. This is a GE service panel. You're not supposed to be mixing the brand. So what did we learn? We learned we got some mismatched breakers. Which, by the way, probably go to the ACs. The ACs require a maximum of 30 amp fuses. There's a 30 amp fuse right there. It's probably for the clothes dryer. There's another 30 amp fuse. Maybe that's for the air conditioning systems. Well, the clothes dryer should be 30 amp, but we got a 40 amp here. Not enough information. Let's see here. It says, is that AC? I can't read. Can't read that. It appears as if the AC systems are overfused. I'm going to put it that way. So we learned that our air conditioning systems might be overfused. We learned we got unprotected conductors entering the cabinet. We learned we got a gap around the cabinet that's too large. We don't have enough screws holding the cabinet on. We learned that the wires are touching the cabinet. We learned that we got white hots. We learned that we got neutrals and grounds sharing a bus. We learned that we got double lug neutrals. We learned that we got paint inside of our cabinet. We learned that it wasn't properly labeled and doesn't have enough screws holding the dead front cover plate on, and it's improperly located in a clothes closet. And the unit outside, the main service disconnect, doesn't have protective boots on it. That would go right here. It's not required here right now. Today, probably tomorrow. And you got corrosion on L2, L1 and L2. On L2 down at the, okay. And if you got some, good information from this, there's a like button right down there. And if you got insomnia, there's a follow button right there. So